Listening test instructions. The listening test is about 50 minutes. There are 6 parts in listening test. You will have about 6 minutes to listen to each passage and answer the questions. The passage will be played once.
Hey, you look concerned. What's on your mind?
The final exam. I'm not fully prepared yet.
Well, don't worry too much. You still have 3 days.
Yeah, but 3 days will fly past in a wink.
Well, you still have time to cram things in your brain anyway.
Question 1. Why is the man looked worried?
You will hear a conversation in 3 sections. You will hear each section only once. After each section, you will hear 2 or 3 questions. You will hear the questions only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Excuse me, ma'am. I just collected my ticket from the counter, but I think there has been some mistake.
All right, sir. Could you show me the ticket, please?
Yes, here it is. I had booked a ticket for today's evening express to Chicago, but this one says tomorrow morning. That doesn't work for me.
Let me check. According to our system, you selected the 8 a.m. train for tomorrow.
That can't be right. I remember clearly choosing 7:30 p.m. tonight. I even checked the time twice before confirming.
Sometimes passengers overlook the AM and PM option while booking. It's a common issue. Did you book this online or at the kiosk?
I booked it through the kiosk right here at the station. It was a bit rushed because there was a line forming behind me.
I understand. These situations do happen. Don't worry, we'll see what options are available.
I really need to be in Chicago tonight. Is there any way I can correct this without having to buy a brand new ticket?
Let me explore the alternatives.
Why did the traveler struggle with his booking? What can be inferred about the traveler's personality? What does the traveler's insistence on tonight's train reveal about his priorities?
You will hear the second section of the conversation shortly.
So here's what I see on the system. The evening express for today is almost full, but there are still a few seats left in the standard class.
That's good news. Could you transfer my ticket to that one?
Well, technically, your ticket is for tomorrow morning, so a direct transfer is not possible. However, you can cancel the current booking and purchase a new one. The cancellation will refund part of the fare.
How much of the fare would be refunded?
If you cancel within 24 hours of departure, the system refunds about 70% of the cost.
That means I'll still lose some money. Isn't there any adjustment option?
Unfortunately, the rules are fixed. But here's a small advantage. If you purchase the evening ticket now, the fare difference is not too high because you originally booked in the same category.
I see. So my best choice is to cancel the wrong ticket and immediately book the evening one.
Exactly. I can guide you through the process right now. Would you like me to handle the cancellation here at the counter?
Yes, please.
Why does the officer mention the fare difference in the same category?
How does the system's partial refund policy affect the traveler's decision-making? What logical conclusion can be drawn about direct ticket transfers?
You will hear the third section of the conversation shortly.
All right, sir. I've processed the cancellation of your original ticket. You'll get a 70% refund back to the card you used at the kiosk within 3 business days.
That's acceptable. Now, about the evening train. Are the remaining seats window seats?
Let me check. Yes, we still have 1 window seat in the standard coach. Would you like me to book that for you?
Perfect. I'll take it. How much extra do I need to pay after the refund adjustment?
The new ticket is $95. Since your refund will be $70, you'll be paying the difference now, which is $25.
That's reasonable. Here's my card.
Done. Here's your new ticket. Please note the train departs at 7:30 p.m. from platform 4. Boarding usually begins 20 minutes before departure.
Thank you so much for helping me sort this out. I was really worried I'd have to spend the night here.
No problem at all, sir. It's always better to double-check the details while booking. Safe travels.
I'll remember that. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
What does the calculation of $25 indicate about the refund process?
Why does the traveler ask specifically about window seats?
You will hear a conversation followed by 5 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Good morning, sir. I usually take this bus to Maple Street, but I noticed the route board looks a little different today. Has something changed?
Morning, ma'am. Yes, you're right. The City Transport Department has made some route changes starting this week. The bus no longer goes directly to Maple Street. Instead, it now turns toward Greenwood Avenue before looping back.
Oh, I see. That's a surprise. I wasn't informed about it. Does this mean the bus won't stop at Maple Street Station anymore?
It will still stop there, but it'll take a longer route. Normally, we'd reach Maple Street in about 20 minutes from here. Now it'll take around 35 minutes because of the diversion.
That's quite a difference. I usually have a meeting at 9 o'clock, and I catch this bus because it was always the quickest. Do you know why the route was changed?
Yes, I asked the supervisor about it. Apparently, Oakwood Road is under construction for the next 3 months, so traffic is being diverted. The buses had to adjust routes to avoid long jams. The transport board decided this diversion was the most efficient option.
I understand. Construction always slows things down. But are there any alternative buses that go directly to Maple Street without taking the longer path?
Let me think. Bus number 24B, which runs from Riverside Terminal, still goes directly through Oakwood Road. But the problem is, with the construction, it gets delayed a lot. Sometimes it runs 45 minutes late. That's why many passengers prefer this diverted route now, even if it's longer, but more predictable.
That makes sense. So if I want to avoid being late, I should probably leave home a bit earlier than usual?
Exactly, ma'am. If you catch this bus 15 minutes earlier, you should still reach your office on time. Also, the transport department posted the new schedule on their website last Friday. If you check the City Transit app, it shows real-time updates for all routes.
Thank you for explaining. I guess I'll need to adjust my morning routine for the next few months. By the way, will the old route return once construction finishes?
Yes, that's the plan. The supervisor mentioned that by December, everything should be back to normal. Until then, it's just about patience and planning ahead.
Well, I appreciate your time, Mr. Michael. You explained it very clearly. I'll make sure to check the app and leave earlier from tomorrow.
You're most welcome, Miss Emily. Safe travels, and I hope the changes don't trouble you too much.
What does Emily's reaction to the longer travel time reveal about her priorities? What underlying assumption guides Michael's advice to Emily? What does Michael's mention of the City Transit app imply about the transport department? What emotion does Emily likely feel after hearing about Bus 24B delays? What deeper reason explains why Michael stresses leaving earlier rather than switching buses?
You will hear a conversation followed by 6 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Hey Sophia, how's your training going? I heard the schedule here at Tokyo is really intense this year.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, it's been tough. The humidity in the stadium makes my long-distance runs much more exhausting than back home in Berlin. I keep having to adjust my pace so I don't overheat. How about you? Sprinters usually handle heat better, right?
Well, yes and no. I can handle short bursts, but recovery has been tricky. I'm used to training at a cooler track in California. Here, even stretching and warm-ups feel draining. Plus, the back-to-back events don't give much time for proper recovery.
I know what you mean. I've been trying to adapt my diet too. My coach, Maria Schmidt, suggested adding more electrolytes and lighter meals, but it's hard to get used to a new routine in just a few days.
Oh, I get that. My coach, David Thompson, emphasized sleep management, but with the press interviews and media schedules, getting 8 hours is almost impossible. I've had to take naps in between training sessions just to stay sharp.
Exactly. And don't get me started on the mental fatigue. Knowing that the whole world is watching makes every practice feel high pressure. I sometimes feel anxious before even starting my warm-ups.
Same here. I've been using visualization techniques, imagining the race in my head to stay focused. It helps a bit. Also, I've noticed that even minor injuries feel amplified under this pressure. My hamstring has been slightly sore, and I've had to limit sprinting intensity.
Oh no, I hope it doesn't worsen. I had a minor knee issue last week, so I've been doing extra physiotherapy sessions with Dr. Hans Becker. At least having the medical team close by helps.
Definitely. I guess every athlete here is dealing with some challenge, but it's comforting to share experiences. The Olympics push us to our limits, but talking with someone who understands makes it easier.
Absolutely. Let's keep supporting each other. Maybe we can exchange some recovery tips after the events.
Great idea. Good luck in your race tomorrow, Sophia.
Thanks, Alex. You too.
Sophia's comment about adjusting her pace most likely suggests that
What subtle difficulty does Alex face despite being a sprinter? How is sleep affecting Alex's performance strategy? What does Sophia's diet change reveal about adaptation? What inference explains why Alex uses visualization? How do the athletes perceive peer interaction?
You will hear a news item once. It is about 1.5 minutes long. Then 5 questions will appear. Choose the best way to complete each statement from the drop-down menu.
On March 11, 2011, Japan experienced one of the most devastating natural disasters in its history. A massive 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck off the northeastern coast of the country, triggering a powerful tsunami that swept across the region. The tsunami caused catastrophic damage to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, resulting in one of the worst nuclear accidents since Chernobyl. According to reports, the earthquake and subsequent tsunami disabled the plant's cooling systems, causing the reactors to overheat. This led to explosions and the release of radioactive materials into the surrounding environment. Authorities quickly evacuated tens of thousands of residents within a 20-kilometer radius of the plant to minimize exposure to radiation. Emergency responders and plant workers faced extremely dangerous conditions as they tried to stabilize the reactors and prevent further leaks. The disaster had widespread effects on both the environment and human health. Contaminated water and soil were reported in the surrounding areas, and radioactive substances reached parts of the Pacific Ocean. Farmers and fishermen were particularly affected, as food products from the region were deemed unsafe for consumption. Government agencies and international organizations closely monitored radiation levels and worked to implement decontamination measures. In the years following the disaster, Japan has invested heavily in nuclear safety, emergency preparedness, and renewable energy alternatives. The Fukushima nuclear disaster served as a stark reminder of the potential risks of nuclear power, especially in earthquake-prone regions. Public awareness of nuclear safety has increased globally, and many countries have reevaluated their nuclear energy policies in response. The Fukushima nuclear disaster remains a tragic event in Japan's history, highlighting the urgent need for disaster preparedness, effective emergency response, and environmental protection. The resilience of affected communities continues to inspire efforts toward recovery and rebuilding.
You will listen to a 2 minutes video. Then 8 questions appear. Choose the best way to answer each question.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this expert panel on aviation safety. Recently, major airline accidents have raised serious concerns globally. Today, we'll discuss the root causes, preventive measures, and the future of air travel safety. Let's start with Dr. James. From your perspective as an aviation engineer, what factors contribute most to these accidents?
Thank you, Anna. Based on our investigations, most accidents stem from a combination of human error, technical failures, and occasionally poor weather conditions. For instance, pilot fatigue or miscommunication in the cockpit can escalate small issues into catastrophic events. At the same time, outdated or poorly maintained aircraft systems significantly increase risks.
Interesting. Sarah, you work in aviation policy and regulation. How do regulations address these risks?
Regulations are evolving, but enforcement remains a challenge. Authorities have introduced stricter safety audits and mandatory reporting systems, but compliance varies across airlines and countries. I believe more standardized global protocols and real-time monitoring systems can prevent accidents before they occur.
Very true. Michael, as a former airline pilot, how do you see the human factor influencing safety?
Human factors are indeed crucial. Even with advanced technology, pilots are at the center of decision-making. Fatigue management, regular simulator training, and mental health support are vital. Many accidents could have been avoided if crew members had better support and clear communication channels during emergencies.
Absolutely. Emily, you research aviation technology. How can innovations improve safety?
There are promising developments. Artificial intelligence-assisted flight monitoring, predictive maintenance systems, and enhanced autopilot features can significantly reduce accidents. For example, predictive maintenance can detect potential engine or system failures before they occur, allowing timely interventions. Technology alone won't solve everything, but combined with human expertise and strict regulations, it makes air travel much safer.
I agree with Emily. Technology is a tool, but training and regulatory oversight must evolve alongside it.
And public awareness matters too. Passengers should understand safety protocols and cooperate with crew instructions.
That's right, safety is a shared responsibility. Airlines, regulators, pilots, and passengers all play a role.
Excellent points. In conclusion, aviation safety is improving, but continuous vigilance, advanced technology, strong regulations, and well-trained personnel are essential. Thank you all for your valuable insights.
You will hear a report once. It is about 3 minutes long. Then 6 questions will appear. Choose the best way to answer each question from the drop-down menu.
The Great Depression, which began in 1929, had a profound and lasting impact on working families across the United States. Many historians and economists point out that the sudden collapse of the stock market caused widespread unemployment, forcing families to face severe financial instability. For working-class families, the loss of a steady income meant that meeting basic needs such as food, shelter, and clothing became a daily struggle. Accounts from the era describe parents taking on multiple low-paying jobs or children leaving school early to contribute to family income, highlighting the direct strain on family structures. Some observers argue that the Depression exposed the vulnerabilities in the social and economic systems of the time. Unlike wealthier households, working families lacked savings or access to credit, which left them particularly susceptible to hardship. Soup kitchens and relief programs became essential for survival, yet reliance on charity was often stigmatized, creating emotional and psychological pressures within households. Letters and diaries from the period show parents expressing anxiety over their inability to provide for their children, while children struggled with malnutrition and disrupted education. Other commentators emphasized the resilience that working families demonstrated during this period. Community networks often formed to share resources, and families found creative ways to stretch meager supplies, showing solidarity and adaptability. While the Great Depression brought immense hardship, it also revealed the determination of ordinary families to endure in the face of economic collapse. Listening to voices from the 1930s allows a deeper understanding of how financial crises ripple through daily life, affecting not only material conditions, but also emotional well-being and social relationships within working families.
Visit celpipmocktest.com for authentic Celpip mock tests and see the difference in your performance.